Hey guys, it's Saturday, March the 9th of 2024, and I want to go over natural gas, my weekly forecast. So without any further delay, let's get into it. As you see in this chart, this is the commitments of traders report. These guys right here in black are commercial. These guys in blue are large speculators. And what's interesting here is that commercial and large speculators stalled on the 19th, and we put a low on the 20th of $1.52. And so far, commercial has been unwinding a little bit, and large speculators are starting to go long. So it's interesting what's going to happen here. These lows, I was looking for commercial maybe to test this high of February the 27th of 150 in regards to position, but it stalled before it got there. So now it's kind of more like an inside couple of days here. Let's see if it's going to retest that or if it's going to start, pushing lower. And if it does, that means that maybe nat gas could probably go higher while large speculators are building a position to go long. Here's another seasonality chart I like to watch, and you can see that right here, February 19, as of the close, we made that low of 152. And so far, grinding high. If you're an Elliott guy, you can see that maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, working on a 4 now, maybe hitting a 5 in the future. Just putting it out there. But you can see that we put our 5-year average. The low came in on the 12th, but we really came, the real low came on the 19th, 20th. This is on average, and it kind of shows that it kind of peaks out somewhere between the 1st and the 4th, and we kind of peaked out around the 5th. The 5-year average is showing a pullback, which we have now, this pullback kind of grinding sideways to lower. And somewhere around the 18th, 15, 18, it kind of flat lines there. And then it kind of goes up. And it kind of goes back and forth, chopping all the way to April 3rd. April 3rd is the big day you want to keep on your radar. If the probabilities are going to play out on the 5-year average, from here, it indicates that we start grinding slightly higher. If we put our 10-year average, pretty much did two lows, February 12th and the 27th, but we really did it on the 20th. And it kind of grinds sideways. Not really that much action, just kind of sideways from here on the 10-year average. But two pivot dates you want to watch is the 12th and the 21st. And then from the April 3rd. So those are the three dates you want to watch on the 10-year average. Within the 15-year average, it made a low pretty much on the 12th and on the 28th. And even the 6th, it has a pullback, but then it just kind of grinds sideways. And a little bump here on the 26th. So maybe, we could probably get this thing to go up a little higher. Maybe go back to $2, test that area. But then it kind of retraces back. But April 3rd, on the 3rd day, remember that in church? On the 3rd day, someone rose. I digress. And you see that it just continues grinding higher. So what is it telling us here? That we could push higher, or we could just kind of grind sideways to higher throughout here. And then even if we have a capitulation, it could be anywhere between March, because we know February's weak, we know March is weak. But then April gets as strong. So I hope you're not expecting to get a blast off, to the moon from here. It could happen. I don't know what could happen in the world to trigger that, but it could be like a slowly ascension from here. So I'm just kind of showing you my observations. Okay, so this is the Elliott wave chart I use. It's interesting. I have a lot of Gann guys now checking out Elliott. And I have a lot of Elliott guys checking out Gann stuff, so it's an interesting multiverse we're living in here in this community. So, from my understanding and knowledge, this February low right here is in conjunction with, the weekly wave 5 and the daily wave 5. The monthly's in a weird spot. I think this is a wave 3, so I'm going to kind of ignore the monthly. But the weekly's indicating a wave 5 here, and the daily is indicating a wave 5 here. So now knowing that, getting a little more fractal, you can see that we made a 1, 2, 3, did that one fourth high here on the 5th, 6th around there. And it's showing a probability of doing a wave 4 somewhere around 175. I think we kissed that. And if this is not a wave 3 and it's a wave 3 higher, you got a projection of 211 all the way to 242 for wave 3. But let's say this is the wave 3 and we're working on a 4. If this is the 4, then your wave 5 projections could be anywhere between 269 all the way to 327, pretty much testing this high. So that's it. The only thing that concerns me here that the Stokes are a little negative here, not overbought, not like here, we were doing this kind of stuff. We don't have that signal yet, but it's natural to cross over and then, do another leg higher. But so far we've coming from the bottom. In regards to cycles, I believe this is the weekly. The dominant cycle is pointing down right now. And if you look at the weekly's at a bottom. So I'm going to be going this on my mind map chart or video clip. So there's a lot of things that are kind of mixed, going inverse, going contrary. So we have to just kind of decipher here. Some time clusters kind of pick this low. In hindsight, I was looking at this, it's like, oh, look, it made sense that somewhere around here we will probably bottom because the time cluster was indicating that. If there's going to be some kind of other low, the time cluster is also indicating March the 28th. I don't know about 417, but yeah, March, because 443 is where we, on average, seasonality, we go low. But these are a couple of dates I'm watching, but the next one would be March the 28th. So that's that. And then the ADX DMI, you see that we almost crossed over right here to go positive, and that didn't play out. The MACD is still positive. I like to watch this. This is a normal one. The one I use on the simple glance chart, it's a little more, the parameters are adjusted a little bit for my liking. And the oscillators, you see that bottomed out here, and now they're starting to turn positive. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing here. We put our thing here, and I need to open this up a little more so we can kind of see what's cooking here. I don't know why this is not moving up. Okay, yeah, so let's open this up a little more. So can I open it up? There we go. So the ellipse technique was the 8th around here, 7th, 8th. It looks like nothing really happened, but I think maybe it could just kick in for the Monday open. So I'm interested to see if we have a gap up or things just, or I don't know, gap down, wherever it's going to gap. But I want to see what's going to happen, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. But it's kind of leaning that maybe we have another leg to go and push higher, using these Elliott wave and all these other things that I'm going to show you in a couple of more clips. Now, in the future, this could be also projection target anywhere between 205 and 208. But keep in mind the 13th and the 14th volatility is going to increase, like here. It kind of came in early and pushed down. So I wonder if maybe the bulls are going to show aggressive Monday and Tuesday and push things higher. But also you want to keep here. We do go higher. Maybe this could be, where things either escalate or then, really turn down. So keep that in mind between the 13 and 14, even the 15. But this is a sweet spot. The middle is right here, but I give it a wiggle room of 3 days. So 1 day to the left and 1 day to the right. But this is the sweet spot, the 14th. I think that's it. So, and this is the 50 SMA that I'm watching, because I know the 20 SMA is somewhere around here. So I already know it's above it, but this is the one that I'm tracking, chances are we could probably test and kiss the 50 and then fail. So this is another target you want to put on your radar. Just follow that 50, and once it kisses that 50, see if it could close above it or if it's going to stall. Okay, so this is another one I'm using, and this one has more data. So I want to just start off with the, let's see, we could start off with the Gann square. This is a key level to watch of the 207. This is from the bigger time frame, but I'm just going to just show you what I'm seeing in regards to the Gann square. You can see that this angle, we were holding it but failed. So this is going to be a key angle. And anyway, 208, 207, key levels to watch. That's from another, pivot point. Nothing really here on this one. And then nothing really here. So the ones I show you, those are the key levels, because this is the bigger picture. This is taking all the data from, natural gas. I just had a blonde moment there. No disrespect to the ladies. 2013, this is the neural net computer, and it picked up the 13 as a low, but we know that the low came on the 20th. It's showing a pullback here, and it's interesting here. These are the kind of the anomalies that I find fascinating. Is that while the computer was indicating a low or projection that was going to turn, nonetheless, it was a turning point. And you can see that prices just continue grinding higher, but then somewhere around here, very close to it, it started turning down while prices are going up. So a couple of things to digest here. It could snap back and follow this. The computer is kind of ultimately forecasting that, April 18th could be your possible top using probabilities with the neural net. Not guaranteed, but it's just something the computer sees that, I'm not aware of. So I just like to use it as a trading partner. And so far, this is what's indicating. So I just have that there as a guide. As long as we make higher highs and higher lows, and the probabilities are greater that we could probably even kiss, a high or grind higher to the 18th. But I just wanted to put that out there so you could kind of notice that. And then let's see, let's put our strategy here on the annual. So far, the annual picks a low around the 24th around there. We made a low on the 20th. It kind of pulls back. These are seasonalities, natural cycles. On the 11th, it came in early around the 5th, 6th, and it kind of makes a low around the 22nd, and then kind of grinds, higher. So that remains to be seen. This is a fast annual, so it kind of shows maybe that there's like a little correction pullback, and from the 15, 16, it pushes higher. This is using 3 years average of data. This one's using 6. So when you put them all together with the 3 years, 6 years in the annual, you can kind of see that it's kind of painting a picture that it could kind of just stall here for a little bit, kind of retrace. So if it does happen, we don't have to be too afraid. But then from the 22nd, from different points, the 15 all the way to the 22nd, it starts, forecasting the probability that, prices could go higher. Now that we take those natural cycles out and we want to look at the past, Gann used to use the 10 and the 20 to kind of forecast, his probabilities into the future. And you can look at price action 10 years ago. We made a big peak around the 3rd and then pulled back. And look at that. That was so close. It's like the 5th, and this was like around the 3rd. So things kind of sometimes rhyme. What I call the anomalies of weird stuff that I see in the charts. But, looking at the 10 years, it kind of pulls back to the 23rd and then some kind of fail new low. I mean, we're dealing with closes on the 31st. So pretty much the last week of March could probably be the sideways grind here and then start going up. The other seasonality chart I showed you was the April 3rd. So those are the kind of things you want to look at and just kind of pay close attention to price and time. Gann also checked out the 20-year. And you can see that the 20-year made a low on the 25th. So you were very close to making a low. We made it on the 20th, and 20 years ago, we made a low on the 25th. So if you look at, the history, and, you could sometimes, Gann said you could tell the future by looking at the past. But I digress. So we pushed higher, And you can see that we somehow peak around the 19th, and then 19 get a really deep pullback. But so far, this is kind of in that chop sense. Now I want to see once we get there, see what happens. But somewhere around the last week of March, things get a little more interesting. And that's just using the 20-year ago price action. So let's close this. And, whoa, did I just scare the kids? Let's see. Self-similarities. This is an interesting chart. So this one is looking at similar months. Let's start with the yearly. Let's go look at the yearly and see what's going on. Similar years. And you can see that it kind of grinds sideways here and somewhere. It gets a bump here, but then pushes lower. Let's look at something else here. So that's that was 2006 data. This is 1998. 1998 looks nice because it gets a pop to like April the 5th or 4th, kind of like an inverse. The 19 kind of goes sideways, grinds a little sideways to lower. The 17th, 2017, had a low on the 28. Is a simulating price action. So this could possibly play out, but we just got to monitor it. And this is some other price action that made a low around the 23rd and made a high around the 417. So let's see how this is going to play out into the future. Let's look at one more. 2020. Yeah, it looks like more like chop. So now we narrow it down to like the months, similar months. And so far, 2018 looks very similar to the price action that we have now. Even this on the close is interesting. Very eerie. And looks like, you know, if it's going to play out, you get a pop around the 11th and then a pullback, pop, the 20th pullback, and somewhere around the 22nd, it kind of grinds sideways to higher. Let's look at 2005. This is nice. 2020, 23, February 23, make a high around 4.2, 4.3. What's interesting is that seasonality wise, we kind of make a low on April 4th, but this one is indicating going up all the way to April. Do one more, and this is kind of low. So, you know, this is more probability, but you kind of get an idea of what could probably play out. You know, if you got an eye for this kind of stuff and you're nerdy like me, you could kind of see some patterns. Like this one is 28. This one's interesting. I could kind of see this happening. Because you got two things. You either do a wave 4 here and go a wave 5 and follow these other ones going higher, or follow the seasonality where it kind of grinds sideways towards the last week of March, you know, maybe even April the 3rd, like the seasonality is showing, and then just kind of grind higher. So those are all of the probabilities and path that it could probably play out, but we just got to see what price action is going to do. Okay, so this is one of the last charts I'm going to show you guys. Obviously, we know that we have a spinning top here, undecided, below the anchor VWAP, but that could change very quick. Next week, let's go over here. Nothing's really changed on the simple glance chart. If you're interested in what the simple glance chart is, I could always do a video on it and show you what I use. But so far, you guys are digging whatever I'm using and I guess understand it. 20 SMA, if you seen my video on a couple of clips ago, I already know the 20 SMAs here. It's finding support. The 50s above coming. And that's going to be a possible target if we continue doing a leg for next week higher. The linear regression and the 50. So these are two things you want to watch for like a final, okay, you know, the Bulls got enough, you know, headway. Now the Bears are going to come in and then do their thing. So this is going to be the sweet spot if you want to, you know, like I wouldn't go long here. I would probably be going long somewhere around here or in this area. Don't want to go long here because you're going to get in trouble. But these are the possible targets. PPS sell signal still remains. You know, the MOBO bands, 277, you know, for downside and 190 to the upside. Right now, this is just going to be on noise. And the MACD is still negative. And the volume, looking at it now, I give it to the Bulls. The Bulls had it. The Bears had it yesterday on Thursday, but the Bulls had it Friday. And so far, MACD is still positive. A Kanashi candle is positive for the weekly, but we know that the trend is still down, even though in the short time frame, which is the daily, is indicating a reversal, early signs of reversals. Let's go into our midpoint first, and then we're going to go into the mind map. Black Widow, she's the one that could chop your head off if you don't put your stops. So remember her. She does not play around. Looking at the mind map, my mind map is where I put all my thoughts, all my ideas, and just kind of look around and just see this whole thing and just kind of browse and look at all the theories and the techniques and just kind of gauge on what's the probability and where I want to go. Spectrum cycle analysis using the weekly 23-year data. You can see that there's a swing low using the 128 cycle of the April 16, 2024. That's like a trough, and then this cycle goes up. If you've been following my videos, you know that I was using these other ones, I think 148 or 124. And for some reason, those cycles are up, but natural gas has just been chopping and going lower. So now this is the one I want to see if the turnaround is going to come. And the trough hits here. So, it doesn't have to hit a low around the 16. It's just saying the cycle is turning here. Maybe our low is the 20th, that February 20th, 152. Maybe that's it. I know 152 is interesting, in relationship to the 1002. But that's Gann theory. But you know what? This is the low now, and this is what I want to see hold. I want to see a fail new low. But, if this is the low, we're going to start making higher prices from here. Then this cycle is giving us the catalyst. Using a 10-year data point, you can see that the, what cycle is that? The 210, using 10 years of weekly chart data, you see that we already hit a low on February the 5th, and now this cycle is starting to go positive. Now you can't just look at the weeklies, you got to look at the daily, and then the 5-year, the 257 hit a trough around March the 1st, which was right here. And we made a low on the 20th. So now this cycle is up. So in regards to cycle, it kind of gives you where things could probably happen. It's not going to tell you exactly the date. The date will come with the Gann stuff, narrowing down using other, esoteric techniques. But spectrum cycle is not that bad. It gives you the ballpark. Okay, there's a possible turning point around here. Is it going to play out? We know there's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of political. There's a lot of BS that goes on. The sharks are in the, trading pools. They're infested. They want to take our money. But if you, study and do due diligence, you could kind of, fight with the sharks and the computers. And so far, this is, a positive catalyst. Can they manipulate it? Well, all the cycles are pointing up and they just keep hammering it down because, they don't want Putin to make money. I digress. This is the 257 cycle with the 70, which is the dominant cycle. So the dominant cycle is showing that there's a low here and it goes up. And this is a composite of those two cycles. So it says that it hits a peak somewhere on March the 28th. So maybe this could be our wave 5 and then a little correction. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of data points I'm shooting at you, but it's all about seeing what price action, what path is going to go. And so far, this one is positive until like March the 28th. Regards to Elliott wave, we're on a wave 3 on the monthly. Working on a wave 4. Those are the projections just in case the wave 3 on the monthly is going to work out. There's a target of 248. That's a wave 4. I don't know if I'm leaning towards that, but the weekly, we're on a wave 5, and that was February the 23rd of 2024. The daily is currently on a wave 5, and that's February 20th of 2024. So I should probably turn these two green, and this one probably green too, because if it's going to be working a wave 4, it needs to go higher from here. In regards to sentiment, it's at 36.98, and that's what 37.55. So it's pushing a little lower on the monthly sentiment. On the weekly, it's getting a little positive. Last time I did this, I updated it. It was like 10.21. Now it's at 10.25. So the week is looking positive. The daily is a little negative, and that's just because of the price action that's currently happening. So the last one was 1933, and this is 1860. Commitments of traders report. The trend is still sideways. As you can see, commercial stalled here. So this is our new high of February the 19th. I want to see if it's going to go lower. I want to see it kiss this and push higher. That means the natural gas is going to go lower. And these are large speculators here. And they made a low of minus 153,872. So I want to see if natural gas is going to go higher, that it won't kiss or touch that February 19 low, and that it should start grinding higher. So I need to see this large speculators accumulate, and I need to see commercials continue hedging and, and unwinding, or, just hedging, just going in reverse from large speculators. Seasonality. March is up in regards to average return by month, but seasonality is kind of sideways to down on March. So that's, you're already seeing the seasonality. Dates that I have that I'm watching so far, the February 18 low from this high kind of worked out. We were off by, I picked the 18th and the low was the 20th. So far, fingers crossed if this holds. Other dates I'm watching will be March the 9th and 10th. I just put a low just in case, question mark. I don't know if they're going to flush it, but it's just interesting. And then March the 15th, using the TMC model, there's something to do with this date and this date here. So I want to see what's going to happen. So I don't know, maybe we could just go sideways and then somewhere around the 15 shoot up and turn. I don't know. We'll see, but I have it there. And then these are the dates I'm watching from the high of October the 27th. And I have them, I should have put this one down here, but in order, it'll be the 8th, which that was Friday. Yeah, so that passed. The 18th, this is a fib ratio 1.732, March the 18th. A B model of March the 19th. And just in case I haven't checked if these are Saturdays or Sundays, just pick the closest day of trading, which is Monday or Friday. So I, just in case you'd be like, oh, I don't remember. I didn't look at it, but I just wrote the date. I don't know if the 19th is like a Saturday or a Sunday. So just pick a Monday or a Friday and just see what price action does. April 30th. And April 14. So those are interesting days for April that I'm watching related to this high. And these are the dates. This one already passed, so I should probably put a different color for it. And our February 20th low of 152, I'm watching April 22nd. So April 22nd, obviously it won't be that we're going to make a new low, because I'm believing the low is in. But if the low is in and we just grinding sideways to higher, April 22nd could be a possible turning point. So keep that on your sticky note. Let's go. End here with our midpoint. We need to close above 184 for the month. At least get above that and regain that, to at least go and kiss 192. Keep an eye out for the 12th. This is the 1/3. We already did the 1/4. 1/3 is coming up. So if it's turning here and it kind of goes sideways, or Monday it starts going up, it could get some Momo here. And if it could take out that 201 high, we could go at least to 225. Now for the week, this is a good one. For the week, we held 175, which was good. That's you can't get any better than that. That the bulls showed up here and defended this. Now, what the bulls need to do, we need to get above 188, because that's your midpoint for this whole week coming up. If we could get above that, then obviously you're going to test $2. And if we could penetrate and push higher, 207, and your highest target for the week would be 213. This bad boy right here, 213. I mean, if you're long from here and you get up there, I would lock in or take something. Don't get too greedy on me. I don't teach greediness. I teach locking in profits and moving along. Now, let's say if you're a bear and you're like, no, we're going down. We're going down to the ground. 175, we take that out, which is your low right here. Target is going to be 169. I mean, $1.69 and $1.62 for the whole week. That's it. Yep. That's it for the whole week. And for Monday only, you got your midpoint, which is 180. As long as you can stay above 180 for Monday, you know, it depends on the open. If it's a gap or if it gaps down, then that's your line in the sand. If you're going down $1.76 for a low or support, you know, and if it's going to push lower, 173 all the way to 171. That's for Monday only. You got this low of 177, obviously. Yeah, you're going to test that. If it doesn't hold, it'll push lower. But if the bulls are strong and there's a turning point coming up, we should probably kiss 183 again. Test that. That's that 183. If you know the Gann, I'll show the Gann square of 9. And then 186 and 188 for Monday only. So here's your 183, which is the 45-degree angle of resistance. And if we could penetrate that, obviously 190, these are the bigger ones, and then 197. And if they push it lower, we go down below, you know, 176 obviously is going to be 169 all the way to 163. Worst case scenario, 157. And keep in mind, you got the 194 low, so you could stall around 159, somewhere around there. I'm going to sign out. I know I haven't done the statistical calendar. Maybe when I got some time, I'll cover it or work on it today and do a video tomorrow. But I know a lot of people like to watch that. Just know that, you know, it's not like the Holy Grail. It just kind of gives you like what's happened in the past and what are the probabilities of that, you know, playing out in the future. So it kind of gives you some data points to at least understand, you know, today could be bearish, today could be bullish, today, you know, could be flat. But it's just information. Price action is king. Price action is going to do what it's going to do. I'm going to sign out. I know it's a lot to digest, but I wanted to give you a lot of information to digest over the weekend so you could plan your strategy, what you're planning to do. Oh, and one thing just came to mind with all this information is that there's an expiration date coming up, which is the 18th. Remember the 18th? I believe that's the 18th. Yeah. So 18, Friday's expiration. So I don't know what the option guys are doing. So I don't know if they're going to push it down here and then turn it, or go up and then turn it from here. You know, I don't know if they're building a position from this expiration date, push it high or sideways to higher and then turn it here, or you never know the tricks they do. So just keep that in mind on top of the 1/3. And then the halfway point is going to be your what is this date? The 22nd. That rings a bell, the 22nd. So I'm going to sign out. Hope you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on natural gas.